noise is deafening. It is the sound of steel grinding against rock 13 meters underground. November 2022, beneath a forgotten temple in Egypt. The radar screens go wild, an anomaly, a perfect structure. What the scientists have just breached is not a simple tunnel. It is the answer to a 2,000-year-old riddle. And what waits at the end has made the archaeologist's blood run cold. For centuries, she has been a ghost. Cleopatra, the last queen of Egypt. Her life, her loves, her death by the cobra. Everything is known. But her tomb? Vanished. History said she will never be found. They were wrong. A woman everyone called crazy ignored the textbooks. She dug where no one else was looking. For 15 years, she defied the experts and braved the desert. Today, the world holds its breath. The tomb has been found, 45 kilometers from Alexandria beneath a ruined temple. A tunnel of 1,305 meters. Sealed chambers. Mummies with golden tongues guarding a millennial secret. What it contains will rewrite history, but first, let's understand why Rome wanted her to disappear forever. Let's go back to the day everything changed. Number 5. The suicide and the erasure. 30 BC, August 12th of the year. 30 BCE. Alexandria is burning. Octavian's Roman legions are marching on the royal palace. In her private apartments, Cleopatra knows it is the end. But she refuses to become a trophy dragged through the streets of Rome, chained like a defeated slave. She plans her exit with terrifying precision. This is not a desperate suicide, it is a meticulously orchestrated sacred ritual. She adorns herself in her finest royal regalia, dons the double crown of Egypt, and transforms into the living incarnation of the goddess Isis. The royal cobra, the sacred asp, symbol of the pharaohs, bites her on the breast. Death is swift but spectacular. Mark Antony, her lover and last ally, had already fallen on his sword hours earlier. They die together, defying Rome until their very last breath. Two rebels refusing submission to the empire that crushed them. When Octavian discovers the bodies, he flies into a blind rage. He wanted to parade them alive during his triumph in Rome. But he is also a brilliant political strategist. He immediately understands the danger. A dead Cleopatra becomes a martyr. Mark Antony becomes a tragic hero. Their tomb could become a pilgrimage site for all of Rome's enemies. History tells us that Octavian, despite his fury, granted them a shared burial worthy of their rank. But he ensured it remained absolutely secret. The orders were clear: confidential location, nocturnal ceremony, limited witnesses. Only a few trusted Egyptian priests and a handful of hand-picked Roman soldiers attended the burial. The exact location was recorded nowhere. No map, no official document, just silence. In the months that followed, all the witnesses died under mysterious circumstances. Accidents, sudden illnesses, unexplained disappearances. Coincidence? Modern historians strongly doubt it. For 2 millennia, the plan worked to perfection. Historians debated. Explorers searched Alexandria from top to bottom, but no one found anything. Until an underwater discovery caused a sensation. Number 4. The illusion of the sunken city jump forward in time. The 1990s. French archaeologist Frank Godiot achieves the impossible. Between 1992 and 1998, his team of divers finds Cleopatra's royal palace, underwater in the Bay of Alexandria, 10 meters deep. It is a breathtaking discovery. Colossal statues of black granite emerge from the depths, covered in algae and seashells. Monumental sphinxes stare into the void with blind eyes. Columns of entire temples lie broken on the seabed. Marble pavements stretch out like ghosts of sunken palaces. The whole world applauds. Media headlines scream, "Cleopatra's Palace found." Documentaries multiply on every channel. National Geographic funds spectacular underwater expeditions. People already imagine the tomb hidden within these mysterious ruins, surrounded by sunken treasures shimmering in the blue light of the floodlights. Excitement is at its peak. Divers search every nook and cranny. They map the structures, photograph every stone, bring up amphorae, jewelry, coins. It is magnificent, it is historic, it is fascinating. But there is a problem, a major problem that no one really wants to see. No tomb, no sarcophagus, no royal body. Just stones and statues scattered by ocean currents. Experts quickly put forward a reassuring explanation that closes the debate. The tomb was destroyed by massive tsunamis and earthquakes in the 4th century. The same natural disasters that swallowed part of the ancient city of Alexandria. Marine sediments buried everything. 2,000 years of erosion scattered it all. It is over. Case closed. Cleopatra is lost forever beneath tons of mud and debris. That is what everyone believes. Universities abandon the searches. Funding is redirected to other sites. Underwater Alexandria becomes a tourist attraction for divers. Everyone gives up except one woman. A Dominican lawyer with a radical theory that makes the global scientific establishment laugh. She finds an explosive lead that everyone has completely ignored. Number 3. The obsession of Taposiris Magna Kathleen Martinez. Remember that name. She is not an Egyptologist by training. She is a criminal lawyer from Santo Domingo, specializing in impossible cases. She treats history like a cold case crime scene. Every detail counts, every inconsistency hides the truth. Her revolutionary intuition? Cleopatra did not get buried as a shameful victim hidden in a dark corner of Alexandria. She got buried as an incarnate goddess in a sacred temple worthy of her divine status. Martinez scours the texts of Plutarch, analyzes Ptolemaic inscriptions, and studies ancient maps with the eye of a detective looking for a missing clue. She deduces that the queen absolutely had to rest in a sanctuary dedicated to Osiris and Isis, the deities she publicly claimed to represent. One place draws her attention like a magnet. Taposiris Magna, a ruined temple 45 kilometers west of Alexandria, lost in the middle of nowhere, stuck between the hostile desert and the raging Mediterranean. No one pays attention to it, it's too far, too insignificant, too obvious to be true. In 2005, she gathers her courage and presents her theory to Zahi Hawass, the famous director of Egyptian antiquities, nicknamed the Pope of Archaeology. This man has the power to make or break careers with a simple nod. He listens politely. He is deeply skeptical. Frankly, he thinks she is completely delusional. A lawyer wanting to lecture Egyptologists? Ridiculous. But he has a soft spot for passionate people. He grants her 2 months to dig. Just 2 months to prove she is right or disappear into oblivion. 17 years later, she is still there. Stubborn, relentless, brilliant. Her team has transformed this forgotten site into a major international archaeological dig. She has found coins minted with Cleopatra's likeness, intact royal statues, inscriptions dedicated to Isis carved into the stone, foundations of secondary temples arranged according to a precise ritual plan. Every discovery confirms her initial intuition. The skeptics are starting to fall silent. Hawass himself publicly acknowledges that she might be right, but the most spectacular find is yet to come. Number 2. The Golden Tongues. The prelude to the shock. Before finding the tunnel, they found the Guardians. By methodically digging around the main temple of Taposiris Magna, the team unearths an unsuspected necropolis. Dozens of tombs arranged in perfect concentric circles around the central sanctuary, like a silent army standing eternal guard. But these are no ordinary tombs. Upon opening the first sarcophagi, the archaeologists freeze in icy silence. Inside the mouths of the mummies, in place of the vanished human tongue, gold. Tongues of solid gold, finely chiseled with exquisite artistry, representing every anatomical detail with disturbing precision. The team immediately understands the ritual significance. These golden tongues allowed the deceased to speak to Osiris in the afterlife, to plead their cause before the divine tribunal, to pronounce the magic formulas necessary for passage into eternity. It is an extremely rare and costly funerary ritual, strictly reserved for the absolute elite of Ptolemaic Egypt. These people were not simple wealthy citizens. They were VIPs of the royal court, high-ranking priests, intimate associates of the ruling family. Why are they buried here, in this isolated temple far from Alexandria? The answer becomes obvious. They were placed here for a specific sacred reason: to watch over someone far more important than themselves. Someone resting somewhere in the heart of the religious complex. Martinez also discovers 200 coins minted with the combined faces of Cleopatra and Mark Antony, an intact royal bust showing the queen's real features, amulets bearing the cartouche of Isis, fragments of papyrus mentioning royal funeral rituals. The most disturbing part? All these mummies with golden tongues are oriented in the same direction with mathematical precision. Not towards the east as tradition demands. No. Towards the exact center of the temple. Towards the rocky bedrock. Radar analysis reveals massive underground anomalies. Voids. Structures carved into the rock. Something huge waits beneath their feet. The team begins to dig, meter after meter. And then, in November 2022, the ground suddenly opens up. The impossible made real. Number 1. The geometric miracle. The discovery, November 2022. The discovery that shakes the scientific world to its foundations. At 13 meters deep, the drills pierce a wall of compact rock and suddenly hit absolute void. The instruments go wild. An inexplicable structure appears on every scanner. A tunnel? Monumental. 2 meters high. 1.5 meters wide. Exactly 1,305 meters long. Carved into the sandstone with laser precision that defies understanding. Worthy of modern technology that the Ptolemies were not supposed to possess. Archaeologists immediately call it the geometric miracle. It is a perfect replica of the Tunnel of Eupalinos in Samos, Greece, considered one of the 7 absolute wonders of ancient engineering. But this Egyptian tunnel has a terrifying peculiarity. It plunges gradually. It sinks inexorably below the water table, heading directly toward the Mediterranean Sea. It is the symbolic path of the dead, the sacred road taken by royal souls toward the underworld kingdom of Osiris. It is also the road that Octavian absolutely could not find, hidden beneath tons of solid rock and infiltrated water. Geologists are stunned by the mathematical precision of the route. No detectable deviation, no calculation errors. The 2 excavation teams starting from opposite ends met with less than a centimeter of variance. How did they achieve this feat without modern topographical instruments, without GPS, without lasers? The mystery remains unsolved. Martinez and her team advance cautiously into the tunnel. Water oozes from the walls. The air is saturated with ancient humidity. Lamps illuminate hieroglyphic inscriptions reciting the Book of the Dead. At the end of 1,305 meters, seismic scanners detect 2 major anomalies. 2 sealed chambers. 2 perfectly rectangular cavities carved into the rock that correspond exactly to the standard dimensions of a Ptolemaic royal burial. The walls show tool marks. Doors have been walled up and then camouflaged with extreme care. Martinez's heart is pounding out of her chest. This is the moment she has waited 17 years for. Her hands are shaking. The team instinctively steps back. No one dares to move further. They are in front of the door the world has been waiting for 2,000 years. The drill stops. Silence falls like a shroud. We are on the edge of a historical precipice. The tunnel is open. The chambers are located with millimeter precision. The team is awaiting final authorization from the Egyptian government to pierce the last meters of rock separating them from history. If Kathleen Martinez is right, if behind this limestone wall truly rest Cleopatra and Mark Antony, embraced for eternity, it will be the greatest archaeological discovery since Tutankhamun in 1922. But let us ask a disturbing question. Do we really want to open this door? Cleopatra chose to disappear to become an eternal myth, an immortal legend. By finding her, by exposing her mummified body under the spotlights of the entire world, we brutally drag her back among mortals. We may destroy the magic that has kept her alive for 2 millennia. The tunnel is there. Science has done its remarkable work. Now it is up to history and ethics to decide if humanity is truly ready to look the last Queen of Egypt in the eye, to discover her true face, far from myths and dreams. What do you think? Should we open the burial chamber or respect Cleopatra's wish to remain hidden for eternity? Tell me in the comments. And if this archaeological investigation fascinated you, subscribe so you don't miss a thing. History is being written right now, before our very eyes. See you very soon.